So you wanna be the king of games, but your matches all end the same. I've got just what you need. Feel free to SMD. Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, back with another episode of SMD, the quick and dirty way for filthy netdeckers to no-skill their way to the top of the Master Duel ladder. Today, we're sailing with Suship. But first, this video is sponsored by Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck. Looking for a place that anyone can upload Master Duel decks and get feedback from the community? Want to give opening Master Packs a try without spending real money? Want to know the gem cost of a deck before you commit? Then check out www.ygoprodeck.com. Now let's slide into Suship. Suship is one of those archetypes that could only exist in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's one of the best arguments against taking yourself seriously as a card game. It's an archetype of ships made out of sushi. Now in the TCG, this archetype is about 7 cards deep and about to get more support, but in Master Duel, they just added a set we got 8 months ago, so we only have an Xyz, 2 monsters, and some spell traps that are only good if you have more than 2 monsters. Shockingly, that's not the death knell for the archetype. Since both monsters are level 4, there's a lot you can accomplish. By jamming the list full of rank 4 enablers, we can shut our eyes and pretend it's 2012 and rank 4 is a viable deck type. This is massively improved by the auto-win button that is Utopia Double, and the actually good rank 4s that are Baguska and Redoer. Add to that a Tribal Xyz that's actually quite strong, and you've got a deck at least as good as Gas Station Sushi. So with that, let's get into the card by card. First up, Gunkan Suship Shari. A 4-star vanilla with 2000 attack may not seem particularly exciting, but I promise you, this card is oozing with flavor. Text. Look at this. You have to scroll down to read all of it. It's a step up from check this out for sure. After that, we've got Maxi and Ash Blossom, followed by 3 copies of Rescue Rabbit. Turns out those normal monsters are good for something after all. 3 copies of Perform Age Hat Tricker. This can be specialed from your hand, provided there are 2 monsters on the field. Very easy, especially if you are blinding second, as we are. 3 copies of Gunkan Suship Ikura. This card is a free special summon if you have the Shari on your side of the field, and can excavate the top 3 cards of your deck. If you find a Shari, then you can summon it or add it to your hand. Now, realistically, you are not going to. You only have 1 target in 40 cards, but many opponents are very bad and will just click yes as soon as they see something they can ash. After that, we've got 3 copies of Parallel Exceed, 3 Unexpected Die, 3 Pot of Desires, 3 Lightning Storm, 1 Double or Nothing, triple Forbidden Droplet, triple the Phantom Knights of Shade Brigandine. This is a free 4-star monster if you have no traps in your graveyard, and it's a trap material for Redoer. And then the card that turns that off, Infinite Impermanence. This is a bit of a nombo. We maybe should be playing Effect Veiler, but it's just so absolutely bonkers in Master Duel. In the extra deck, we of course have Utopia and Utopia Double for those sick 8,000 attack point swings into anything with 2,000 attack or less in attack position. 1 copy of Tornado Dragon. This is the flex slot. I just ended up in a lot of scenarios where I felt like I wanted this card. 1 copy of Baguska, Plan B, ladies and gentlemen. This card's also very good at making a copy of Zeus, just because it can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects while it's in attack position. We've after that got a Time Thief Redoer. This card is fantastic, one of my favorite cards of all time. During the standby phase, you can attach the top card of your opponent's deck to this card as material. Then you can detach up to 3 different types of material from this card as a quick, and then based on the type of card you detach, you activate an effect. If it's a monster, it tags out until the next turn. If it's a spell, you draw a card, and if it's a trap, you put a card your opponent controls on top of the deck, which will then attach itself to it during the next standby phase. It's absolutely bonkers, but only really good if you get a trap card as material, which is why we're on the Shade Briggs. We're on 1 Light Dragon at Ignister. This card's also a bit of a flex, but honestly just cleans up a lot of gummy board states. It destroys a face-up monster, and that's as good as it gets. Gunkan Suship Ikura class Dreadnought is actually quite strong. If it's Xyz summoned, you get to apply effects based on materials used. If you made it with the vanilla, you get to draw a card, which can find an extender and continue your play. And if you made it with an Ikura, it can attack twice. This means it can attack into an opponent's monster, then get in direct, which is important because if it deals damage to your opponent, you can target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. This is fantastic. It means you can do something like attack a set monster, attack directly, destroy one of their cards, and then overlay for a big Zeus, which of course is in this deck and indispensable. We have some space for extra deck monsters. Link Spider is important to get the Shari off your side of the field and trigger Parallel Exceed. It also means that if you have 2 Shari, you can go Link Spider into a Shari and just get more damage on the field. We've got an Almirage. This is important for getting like a normal summoned hand trap off your side of the field, 1 copy of Halka Fibrax, important for getting more material on your side of the field, Unicorn cleans up pretty much anything, and Access Code wins the game. I'd really like to find room for a Selene package. Maybe we could go Selene, take out the Infinite Impermanences for Effect Veilers, but we'd need 1 more monster in the extra deck or to cut the Tornado Dragon. I really do like keeping this extra deck at 13 just so we don't lose to Banquet Burn. I did run into it a couple of times in Gold. So with that, let's check out a game. Our match is up against Lair of Darkness. No offense to the Lair pilots in the audience, but I just don't understand what compels a person to play a deck more boring than Skill Drain Eldritch. We've drawn really well. We have a copy of Rescue Rabbit, a Parallel Exceed, 2 Hand Traps, and a Pot of Desires. Unfortunately, none of that's going to matter versus set 3 pass. Now we're looking for a Lightning Storm here. We draw one of the worst cards in our deck, the second Parallel Exceed. We're going to fire off the Pot of Desires, and we banish 2 Shari. Okay, that Rescue Rabbit is now offline. We're going to go from the Shari into a copy of Link Spider. That's going to allow us to trigger the Exceed in our hand, and thank the Lord we still have an Exceed in deck. We're going to trigger the Exceed in order to summon one from deck. We're trying to just go for a Zeus play here. We're going to overlay for a copy of Baguska. We will attack directly with the Baguska. I figure this at least plays around Mirror Forces or something, and down comes the Skill Drain. Okay, they'll take 21. Main phase 2 will go into a Zeus anyway, just more attack points, and there is one really funny play we can do here that I hope we get to show off. We're going to set a Forbidden Droplet and pass back to our opponent. They're going to draw for turn, and then activate their set Metaverse. Now, I do have an Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, but I'm figuring, well, there's no mine in the format. What do I care? And down comes the Lair. Next up is Arima the Wicked Warren. We're going to fire off a Zeus, then chain Forbidden Droplet in order to have the attack of the Arima, but this makes the Zeus resolve because it's no longer on the field at point of resolution. They'll send the entire field and set 1 card. Now here we just have to convince our opponent we don't have lethal. The Rescue Rabbit and the Exceed are offline, but they don't need to know that. We'll go Rescue Rabbit into a copy of Almirage. We'll trigger the effect of the Exceed in hand. Please do not check the graveyard, and whew, okay, got away with murder on that one. So we're back with a list, and obviously it isn't the strongest of the archetypes that were just added to Master Tool. I hope to explore those in the coming weeks, but for now, I'm satisfied that this is as good as Sushi can get.